But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine.
Hey, yo! What? Yeah! Yo, this is so awesome. This is awesome. Oh, my God. Timpool came out with a statement about being a Russian, pro-Russian propagandist, a paid pro-Russian propagandist. Yeah, it's not just Timpool, it's people with Tenet Media. This indictment alleges that right-wing commentators like Dave Rubin, Benny Johnson, Timpool, and Lauren Southern, as a part of the Tenet Media YouTube channel, have been unwittingly working for a Russian influence operation. Two people described in the Tenet indictment as unnamed founders were very aware that their operation was funded by Russians. Tennessee Business Records lists Tenet's founders as Blaze TV's host and TPUSA contributor Lauren Chen, a.k.a. Roaming Millennial, and her husband. Now, let me tell you something, okay? I have not tried to fuck any of these people in this indictment. But the number one defender of Ukraine, who kept saying I was a Russian fucking dissident or a Russian operative, has. You couldn't have fucking asked them why they were doing pro-Russian propaganda and how much money they were getting paid when you were trying to fuck Lauren Southern or when you were trying to fuck Roman Millennial, when you were doing fucking buddy-buddy conversations with these fucking people, Destiny? Huh? What happened? The people that are so invested in me being a fucking Russian op, like a Russian operative, not a Russian opposition, are so invested in that they will never listen to reason. They've already made up their minds. They've watched all the fucking YouTube commentary videos from these fucking dumbasses who kept saying like I was pro Russia from the jump. So, you know, they will still continue with that the investment that they've made. But I just want to point out, you know, seems like the motherfuckers who are pro-Russia got. Seems like the motherfuckers who were paid propagandists got. A new DOJ indictment that it alleges that RT employees covertly funded and directed by a U.S. company with $10 million in order to push pro-Russia content. The company's based in Tennessee. There is one media company based in Tennessee with the same phrase listed in the indictment. The Canadian entity that owns Tenet Media, of course, is the Canadian entity that owns Tenet Media is owned by Lauren Yu Sum Tam, also known as Roaming Millennial, and Liam Donovan on the board of directors. Once again, it remains to be the truth that Canada is not sending their fucking best. They're either sending their worst or they're sending their best in some instances. But like usually in the realm of politics, Canada is sending their fucking absolute worst. The indictment specifies that two of the people who work for the Tennessee company Tenet were deceived, meaning they didn't know that the Russian government was running an influence op. Dave Rubin has 2.4 million subs and Timpool has 1.37. So the two people that were deceived, I guess, for a license, Kalashnikov Afanasieva, founder one and founder two, worked together to mask U.S. company one's source of true funding, RT, by falsely portraying to commentator one and commentator two that U.S. company one was sponsored by a private investor named Eduard Gregorian. In truth and in fact, Gregorian was a fictional character. Benny Johnson also almost has 2.4 million, but they apparently rounded down from 137 to 1.3 million with Timpool, so I figured Rubin's 2.4 million to 2.4 was the same. Helena Shudra shared with U.S. Company One a video of a well-known U.S. political commentator visiting a grocery store in Russia. Afanasieva posted the video in the producer Discord channel. Later that day, producer one privately messaged founder two on Discord. They want me to post this, referencing the video that Afanasieva had posted, but it just feels like overt shilling. Thinks we should put it out there. Producer one acquiesced, responding, all right, I'll put it out tomorrow. Now, what I find really funny about this is that, like, why are we not doing this for Israel as well? Because that would, of course, mean literally virtually every fucking top-level media commentator would be in the crosshairs in this way. Most of our politicians, too. AIPAC gets to operate without ever being hit by FARA on a regular basis. Yeah, AIPAC just spent $20 million to oust 2 progressive lawmakers, and Israel was caught running a $2 million influence campaign, but you'll never hear Russiagate stenographers utter a peep of protest. Yup. It's true. It's fucking true. Look, all I'm saying is, for all of the liberals who are super pro-NATO, who fucking spent a whole litany of time talking about how fucking pro-Russia I am, even though I fucking fundraised for Ukrainian refugees pretty early on, it seems like all of my enemies who fucking despise me are named in this. So if you have ever found yourself personally aligned with any of those people mentioned, maybe you're not actually pro-Ukraine and instead simply using a horrifying situation like the invasion of Ukraine to your immediate advantage. Timpool got 100K per episode and Rubin got $5 million per year. That is crazy money, by the way. Once again, grifting to the left is not a real thing. Grifting to the right, however, very, very profitable. Good money to be made there. Russians wanted them to post the Tucker Carlson grocery video, but they always thought it was too obviously shilling. Lauren Chen said to post it anyway. The Russians wanted to blame the ISIS Moscow attack on Ukraine. They got commentator 3 to do it. If Dave Rubin is commentator 1, then I think Johnson is 3, and vice versa. To be clear, whether or not Benny was commentator 1 or the others, neither I nor the indictment are claiming he knew that he was working for the Russians. The question is whether he should have known or suspected is both philosophical and harder to prove. A statement of the Leo. Oh, they all have statements coming out. Oh, they have statements coming out now. My statement regarding allegations of the leaked DOJ indictment. Should these allegations prove true, I, as well as the other personalities and commentators, were deceived and are victims. I cannot speak for anyone else at the company as to what they do or to what they're instructed. Let me explain something to you guys, by the way. I get asked to do ads in the political realm all the time. All the time, especially during election cycles. Now, they're not fucking paid propagandists for like a foreign government or whatever, obviously. That would require an additional layer of stupidity. But beyond that, why the fuck are you taking ads from any political operatives whatsoever? Why are you taking ads to be pro a certain political position? Isn't that exactly what you're supposed to be against? Not even if it's like, it doesn't matter that this is like pro-Russia. Even if it was like pro-gun laws or you know, pro-guns, you shouldn't be taking that ad at all. The fuck is wrong with you? You're supposed to be independent media. I am. So I don't do this shit. Aren't you supposed to have your own independent opinion on subject matters? Why are you taking money from a group, even if they're not fucking pro-Russia, even if it was just a regular, homegrown American political group? Why are you taking money from them to say certain things? How should any of your fans ever believe you ever again for the rest of time? Will you be paid for this take, or will you actually be telling your genuine opinion on this take? Do you agree if it was a pro-Ukraine ad? Yeah, even then. What do you mean? Even then, if you're a political commentator, you should not be getting fucking paid by pro-Ukrainian media either. What the fuck? Never at any point did anyone other than I have full editorial control of the show. And the contents of the show are often apolitical. Examples include discussing spirituality, dating, and video games. The show is produced in its entirety by our local team without input from anyone external to the company. TCW is a separate company not associated with timcast.com or other properties. It exists solely for the production of the Culture War podcast. That being said, we still do not know what is true, as these are only allegations. Putin's a scumbag. Russia sucks donkey balls. And to the journalists who wish to jump the gun, create their own narrative, or lie about what is currently going on, you can eat my Irish ass. Tim, if you're serially so fucking stupid that you didn't realize the 100K per episode you demanded to spread Russian propaganda wasn't coming from Russia, the DMV needs to revoke your driver's license and you can't be trusted with household appliances. I don't get it. Like, I just saw a guy giving me $100,000 to say nice things about Pootie Poo, and I took it. Like, what? I think Tim Pool, now that I know his educational attainment, like, unironically might be that stupid. The only funny thing about this is that, like, paying Tim Pool $100,000 to be pro anything is automatically a waste of resources. Lest you ever think Actual people pay to listen to Tim Pool. 90% of all of their revenue literally came from Russian shell companies. No, this is like one aspect of his entire production, I think. Tim gets multiple revenue streams. Tim himself gets revenue from his own channels as well, so the Russian money wasn't 90% of Tim's revenue. I think it was 90% of his revenue for the one entity that he created. Wait, what? He was got paid 100 grand per week? Oh my God, bro. 100 grand per week?
But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine.
Hey, yo! What? Yeah! Yo, this is so awesome. This is awesome. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, by the way, $100,000, bitch, you would be screaming like that too. $100,000 a week? Don't even. $100,000 a week, you'd be fucking screaming. You'd be like, I hate Ukraine. Sell Disney's a fucking homosexual man. Oh my God, bro. $100,000 a week, bro. That's crazy.
They know it. But I don't know that it matters anymore. This is psychotic. Ukraine is the enemy of this country. Ukraine is our enemy, being funded by the Democrats. I will stress this again. One of the greatest enemies of our nation right now is Ukraine. They are expanding this war.
This is like mathematically the worst position to arrive at. Like, people say I'm a fucking shill for Russia because I'm always like, bro, we need to fucking do a ceasefire. America's interests in Ukraine are not genuine. All they want is the continuation of fucking war so they can like dump all of their older weapons. Like, ultimately, we need to come to the table and do a fucking ceasefire. Like, I never once would say Ukraine is the enemy of Russia. That's insane. Bro, they got no autonomy in this. I'm sorry. The people on the Democratic Party side that consistently talk about how, like, well, this is what the Ukrainians want, are literally just fucking straight up lying. Because if everyone in Ukraine said, no, we don't want to do war, what the fuck? We need to do a ceasefire immediately. We hate being fucking slaughtered. Okay? America would still be like, okay, well, you know, what if it was okay for a couple more people to get slaughtered, you know? Because we really like the situation right now that we're in currently. We love that you guys have fucking, you know, destroyed half of the Russian artillery. I mean, it wouldn't take much before the CIA literally fucking puts a psychopathic, like, rabid right-wing ultra-nationalist in power if Ukraine actually changed trajectory, I think. But again, this proves the point that I was making, which is giving Tim Pool money to be pro anything is such an L for whatever your cause is.
Now, don't get me wrong. I know you've got criminal elements of the U.S. government pushing them and guiding them and telling them what to do. Ukraine is now accused, a German warrant issued for blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline, triggering this conflict. Ukraine is the greatest threat to this nation and to the world.
What?
We should rescind all funding and financing, pull out all military.
Okay. This is actually really instructive. Okay. Why did he say triggering this conflict? Bro, they blew up the Nord Stream pipeline after. That's number one. And number two, here. Literally, I think he's reading a script. This is instructive. Match what he's saying here with my commentary to understand the difference in opinion. Okay. If you want to know what someone who is like pro Russia shill, literally getting paid to be pro Russia, versus someone who's like, yeah, nah, dog, I think it's probably America that blew up the fucking Nord Stream pipeline and not motherfucking Russia. Okay? Because it makes zero fucking sense whatsoever. It's still, like, even when people used to clip the thing that I talked about with, like, the Crimean Bridge, Ukraine blowing up the Crimean Bridge, I used to say, yes, it is still an attack on largely civilian infrastructure and therefore could be considered an act of terror, but it's still born out of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. So it's still ultimately in the hands of Russia. They would, of course, clip the second part out and say, Hasan says blowing up the Crimean Bridge is a fucking an act of terror. I would literally compare it to what Russia does in terms of, like, attacking civilian infrastructure, which is unjustifiable. They would clip that part out to make it seem like I was simply saying that Ukraine is doing terror or whatever. Okay? There's a difference between that, my analysis, which still lends the blame in the hands directly of the responsible party, Russia, versus this guy being like, Ukraine is the number one enemy of America. Ukraine has a valid interest in freeing their borders of a serial violator of their sovereignty. It is the most moral and understandable and fucking righteous cause. Our interest as the United States of America in Ukraine, not exactly in the same level of infallibility. We just want to offload our shitty ass, old ass fucking equipment so the goddamn military industrial complex can turn a profit, all while not a single fucking American active duty service member is harmed in the process. It's a win-win. Insane to call Ukraine your enemy. How the fuck are they your enemy? They were invaded, dog. Yeah, they were just sitting there looking pretty, waiting to be fucking invaded by Russia. They are the enemy. The biggest enemy. Bro forgot about like all the other things that he could be talking about on a daily basis, like China or Iran. Also stupid to say, but like Ukraine being the biggest enemy is fucking awesome. I say right-wing grifting is obviously an incredibly fortuitous endeavor. Okay? And this proves it once again. This motherfucker was a Russian asset. Now, before people say, Hasan, you like certain people that used to work for Russia Today. I do. Abby Martin used to work for Russia Today. Back in the day, Russia Today was not the Russia Today it is now. It definitely still had those same elements. Okay? But pre-invasion of Ukraine, Russia Today used to do this very interesting thing where on the 1 hour, or they would have like someone who is like militantly anti-imperialist, and then the next hour they would have someone who is like insanely right-wing. So just so you guys understand, like their goal was to cause as much chaos and confusion in American politics. Of course, that's the point of their, media campaign in general. It makes sense. America does it all the time. What do you think Voice of America is?